That evening, I decided to take an old, forgotten road to get to another city. The road didn't even have a name on the map. You chose it to save time and avoid the busy highway, even though you knew the risks: winter, snow, ice, and a vast forest surrounding you. The enormous pine trees, whose shadows stretched across the road, looked like living beings, boldly reaching out their dead arms. Around midnight, there were no streetlights, no cars, no light at all, except for your car's headlights. Only darkness and the snowy veil, which was pierced by your headlights, revealing the endless forest on both sides of the road. You were absolutely alone. Suddenly, your headlights caught something massive up ahead, blocking the road in the distance. You braked sharply, and the car squealed, skidding on the ice. About 20 meters ahead, something had stopped, swaying slightly. A huge, fur-covered figure stood there like a dark monolith. It took you a few seconds to realize it was alive. It wasn't moving, but you immediately felt the cold seep into your car, clinging to your skin and settling in your bones. A massive paw, like a bear's with claws, slowly lifted and took a step forward. That's when you saw its eyes. They glowed like two embers, yellow, fierce, like something straight out of hell. And those eyes weren't just looking at you, they were consuming you. You froze, not knowing what to do. Your body refused to obey, and only your heart was pounding wildly in your chest. But when the creature lowered its head and sniffed the air like a beast sensing prey, you understood it could feel you. It could hear your heartbeat, see the fear in your eyes. Suddenly snapping back to reality, you slammed on the gas pedal and shot forward. The creature didn't stay where it was. It roared a sound like the crash of a falling tree, the crunch of breaking bones, and rushed after you. You couldn't understand how you managed not to veer off the narrow, icy road. It felt like all your energy was focused on one thing: getting out of there as fast as possible, away from this menacing shadow that was chasing you, never falling behind. You sped up, forgetting about caution and ice, while the trees outside flashed by like ghosts frozen in eternal waiting. The terror was gripping you tighter and tighter. Every muscle was tense to the breaking point. Your hands clenched the wheel so hard your knuckles went white. You were relying solely on speed and hoping the engine wouldn't fail at this critical moment. The creature disappeared from view, but you knew it was nearby. Suddenly you saw its eyes again in the rearview mirror. It seemed to glide over the snow, moving with terrifying ease for something of its size, as if the darkness was pushing it forward, accelerating its pace, bringing it closer. By then you could hardly breathe from fear. The ice on the road was getting thicker, and the car began to skid. It seemed like it was about to slip out of your control, and then the creature would have its chance. In the rearview mirror, its eyes flared even brighter, now barely a couple of meters from your bumper. You could hear its growl, and that sound filled everything around, penetrating you, pushing out all reason, leaving only to... At that moment, the road made a sharp turn. You almost lost control, but yanking the wheel, you managed to straighten the car. The creature slowed down. It didn't seem to expect the turn and vanished from sight. An icy breath filled the cabin, and your headlights lit up an empty road. But suddenly you saw it reappear on the left. It was running, overtaking you, and it seemed like it would be waiting at the next turn, ready to intercept you. Your only chance was to push the gas pedal to the floor. You didn't think about braking or staying on the road. All that mattered was not letting that thing catch you. Little by little you began to gain distance. The road straightened out, and in the distance you saw lights. Living, warm lights of the city you had been longing for. You could almost feel their warmth. But the creature wasn't giving up. It rushed alongside, making those terrifying sounds, and at one point, you thought it had grabbed the rear bumper, shifting the car slightly. But you didn't stop. On the contrary, you pressed down on the gas even harder. When the car finally burst onto the city's illuminated street, you slammed on the brakes. You were safe, at least for now. Looking in the rearview mirror, you saw only the dense darkness of the forest behind you. No traces, no glowing eyes. But you knew it wasn't your imagination. Something was waiting in that forest, something ancient, huge, and hungry. Since then, every time you drive that road, You can't shake the feeling that from the shadows, those same eyes that once saw you are still watching.